Warnings on Stoicism. You will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. True power is sitting back and observing things with logic. True power is restraint. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe and allow things to pass. Warren Buffett. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond our control. Seneca. If you are distressed by anything external, your pain is not due to the thing itself, but due to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any time. Marcus Aurelius. Now with that said, let's get to the video. What's up guys, it's JV. Thank you for coming back to the channel, and let's get it. So what's up guys, listen, today I want to talk about something that I think is very important in the aviation world, and that is also very important in life in general. And I'll explain to you basically what it is. It's a trait that I believe you need to master if you want to be the best version of yourself as a pilot and as a man, to be honest, because it has to do with more than just the airline. Because everything you do, for example, as a pilot, for example, in your environment, right? It's something that is going to reflect itself in the way you behave in day-to-day situations. And I believe that this trait that I'm about to tell you, man, if you master this single trait, this is one trait that I believe is really, really important to master in life in general. Because it has to do with your learning experience, how fast you learn, and how fast people respect you and put trust in you and actually make you go through the ranks faster. Because it conveys a certain character that you have. Basically, this trait is what I call unreactiveness. I'm not talking about indifference. I'm not talking about apathy. I'm talking about unreactiveness. Stoicism, if you will. If you've read Marcus Aurelius' books, if you've read the 48 Laws of Power, if you know about Socrates and all these philosophers, they talk about stoicism, which is basically being unreactive. You cannot be a leaf in the wind. You cannot be reactive to everything that is said to you. You cannot be reactive to everything that happens to you. And you cannot just lash out every time something minor inconvenience happens to you. Why is that important? I'll explain to you, and I'll explain to you why it ties back in with aviation, right? As a pilot, you go through various phases, right? You will go through, first of all, assessment, selection exams to get into the flight school. Secondly, you will get into the flight school and you will have flight lessons, right? Thirdly, after that, what are you going to do? You're going to be changing planes, flying with another instructor. You'll be switching instructors. After that, when you're done with the flight school, you pass and everything, you'll have to get a type rating for the airliner that you're trying to fly. For example, me, I fly the Airbus A320, and I've had to do a type rating with a partner that I didn't know beforehand, with an instructor that I didn't know beforehand because it had nothing to do with my school. Basically, I paid for a service which was to learn how to fly the A320 in a simulator, so I get a random instructor, and everything doesn't always click, right? Anyway, let's keep going. When you're done with the type rating, what do? You get in airline, right? That's the goal that we're all trying to reach. You get into an airline. When you get into the airline, you don't just start flying like a regular dude. Basically, you have to go through something that is called a line training, and that line training is basically you being instructed on how to fly in the line and how to fly all the various routes that your airline goes through, because it takes some getting used to, and there's a lot of things that are different from the simulator because a lot of paperwork comes into play. You have actual passengers behind you. You have cabin crew that you have to talk to. It's just basically it gets you going inside the real world of aviation. That's what it is. So let's take a step back now and explain why unreactiveness and stoicism is important. You're in a flight school. You meet a flight instructor. This flight instructor is frustrated with his job, and he wants to take it out on you because he is tired of being a flight instructor and he wants to get a job at an actual airline, but he can't get it because of whatever reason. Maybe his contract is longer with the flight school or whatever. He got refused. This doesn't matter. The key point here is that it does not matter because it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with him. If somebody comes to you in a certain way, whether it's aggressive, whether he's screaming, whether he's shouting at you, whether he's trying to teach you stuff, the more you react to it and the more aggressive and the more you try to push back, the more you're going to keep doing it. Why? Because people subconsciously try to push back at you and keep trying to make you tick. Because as soon as somebody knows how to push your buttons, every time they want to see a reaction out of you, they will keep doing it. And that's normal human nature, because you know what that person doesn't like. So every time you need feedback and you need to know where they stand right now, you will keep pushing and doing what it is that they don't like. By you being unreactive and stoic, what is happening is you're telling basically that person that, listen, you do not have access to the part of me that reacts to what you're saying. It might take a few days, but trust me, the respect they have for you will grow. Because listen, you're in a flight school, you're in an airline, you're still basically being given a service, right? You're being taught something. If you're in a flight school, you're a student, that's true, but you're also a customer. You're also a customer. So it's a service that's being provided to you. You're not going to start insulting instructors and starting to like try to get them back in their place. But at the same time, you're not going to be saying sorry all the time, and you're not going to be just reacting and getting mad every time they say something that you don't like. You take in what works and you discard what doesn't matter. If he gives you advice while screaming, you don't even make eye contact with him, and that's not disrespectful at all. You keep looking forwards. You do what it is that he said to do. You don't acknowledge it verbally. You acknowledge it with your actions. You do it, and you shut up. You keep your mouth shut. That's the most important part. Don't be a doormat, but do not speak. Because why? Everything that you say is held back against you. And let me tell you something about flight schools and airlines, and that's something that I didn't know about beforehand, especially in airlines. Everybody speaks. Every instructor speaks between themselves. They speak about the students. They speak about the personalities of the students, and everybody knows about everything. If everybody knows that you're reactive and defensive and you get mad every time somebody tries to give you criticism or constructive criticism, they will hold you back on purpose to make you even more mad. And they'll blame it on, oh, he does not have the personality to be a pilot. Let me tell you, as long as you have the knowledge, you have the possibility to be a pilot. But the fact that you are unreactive and you remain calm, cool, and collected makes you a better pilot, because it makes you learn faster, it makes people trust you faster, and it makes you go through the ranks faster because people trust you faster. It's a complete mindset, and it's a complete game changer, man. And that's something I've been applying for the past few months now that I'm done with my line training and stuff, and let me tell you, it works wonders, man. Politics is a real thing. Politics is a real thing, and this is the real world, man. Especially if you're in an airline, things will go faster based on the way you act around people. But to be treated well, you have to be respected, and to be respected, you have to show people that you're able to hold a composure, basically. And it doesn't have to only to do with instruction and learning and being taught stuff. It has to do with also the people you're confronted to on a daily basis. You fly with a captain, you fly with a cabin crew, you fly with passengers. If the captain for some reason has a problem and there's a crew incapacitation, you are basically now the new captain of the flight. You have to be able to take over, right? You have to be able to take over. You have to speak to the cabin crew. You have to make an announcement, a public announcement for the passengers, and they have to be able to trust in you completely. What kind of person can be trusted by people who know nothing about a plane while there's a problem? It's somebody that remains calm, cool, collected, unshaky voice, unreactive. Even though he knows what's at stake, he remains calm, cool, stoic, and he just doesn't react like a leaf in the wind. You adapt to the situation you are in, and it will make people respect you for it, and it will make people feel safe around you. Everybody's goal is to become a captain, basically, as when they join an airline, right? Not necessarily in that airline, but overall, like in your career, you're trying to be a captain one day. And the quickest way to become a captain is to exhibit captain behavior. I'm nowhere close to being a captain, but I tell you every day that every single time I act like I'm telling you to act right now, I can see the way I'm treated, and I can see that I'm not neglected, because they see that I have the potential just by the way I act, the way I behave. Also, obviously it comes with the knowledge. You have to actually study. You have to know the plane. You have to know what you're doing. But there's much more to that. If you know the plane and you know everything, but every time something happens, you panic, or every time somebody talks to you and tells you something you don't like, you start getting reactive and defensive and you can't control your emotions, that's just a bad sign, man. And it's something that can be worked on. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. unreactiveness, man, it's a game changer. This was FlyJV. I'll see you in the next video, guys.